I adore fire. The way a fire starts, with dry wood and dead leaves. How something so ugly and decrepit could germinate into a creation of wonder and life. This fire's birth was small, with a single flame, as if unsure what to make of the world she had entered. She began to grab hold of the leaves, then the wood. She grew bigger, understanding her purpose rather swiftly. And the movement, the way she danced around, celebrating her own existence, both brand new and yet undeniably nostalgic, like a baby discovering the taste of chocolate for the first time. She began to spread out, exploring new territory. She found more to take hold of and chewed up the house as she did so. Her appendages reached out for less than a second at a time, licking the wood of the old home, tasting its history. Her flames spread out over the archway, through the door, then past the long, smooth wall into the living room. She climbed the old wallpaper, eagerly eating up the frayed edges that would have taken time much longer to destroy. She bit at the wooden furniture and the sofa that had seated numerous people over the years. She began tickling the ceiling, as if attempting a reaction out of the house. There was no laughter. Stifled screams. The sound was unpleasant. It distracted from the beauty of the pyre. The fire didn't mind. She danced on along the staircase that my sister would often trip over when rushing home from school. The fire's flames advanced up into the hallway, greeting the darkness with her hungry light. The first room she reached was my old room, full of the toys I had invested so much time in, made of various plastics that the fire tried to eat, but made sick instead, and turned her green. Ah, the memories. I could smell all the years I had wasted in this ancient place, expelled from the windows into the night air. I thought it ironic that this hellhole had been set ablaze. She ate through my room in mere minutes, and continued her graceful ballet into the bathroom, where the ceramic tile, admittedly, slowed her. I had faith that she would get past that obstacle, and sure enough, she did, but had to take the long way around through my sister's room. My poor sister. My darling Caitlin. I loved everything about her, from her vibrant red hair, her spontaneous pirouetting, even the way she cocked her head to one side when she didn't understand something. But she understood me better than my parents ever did. She ultimately sided with them when confronted with whether I should be sent away or not. She of all people. Loud noises in the distance again pulled me away from the awe of my creation. Sirens this time. They were growing louder. At least that horrible screaming had stopped. The fire had eaten all the way into my parents' room by this point. Good, I thought. Let the raw power of her rage and pain flow through this old house like a river, washing away all the time I spent here. And let her elegant dance trample you, like grass under heavy heel. You and your stunted traditions and rigid view of the world. Let her purify this spot with an anger that singes and sears, and then let her sleep, leaving behind a smoldering, sizzling pile of soot. I noticed suddenly that the sirens were unbearably loud. I felt wetness on my face as a deadly stream of water attacked my child. I screamed at them to stop. They seemed alarmed, and some men pulled me away and held me down on the damp grass. I was forced to watch as the avatar of my rage and contempt, the personification of my soul, was slowly tortured by these poisonous streams these men sprayed without mercy, until all that was left was the charred, smoking husk of my old home. My parents were carried out in body bags. They could not appreciate the smoldering splendor I had given them. But my sister, oh, my lovely Caitlin, she approached me, covered in ash, eyes like white-hot embers, hair blackened but still undeniably red, and halted right in front of where I was detained on the ground, staring up at her in dumbfounded wonder. She looked at me with a face that burned with fury, wept with grief, and sighed with pity. I couldn't withstand that gaze from one so magnificent. She then turned around and said something I can't recall and walked away, gone forever. More beautiful than any fire I'd ever seen.